Welcome back to Vet Talks. And this week, again, we have our health and wellness segment with Martha Diaz. And we'd like to welcome her onto the show. Martha, this week, what we would like to know is it true that the VA goes smoke free in October 1st of 2019?
That is the truth. It's happening 6 days from today. Hello, everybody. This is Martha. Yes, we are going smoke free and nationwide. No more smoking at the VA.
What are veterans supposed to do, though? I mean, a lot of veterans obviously currently use smoking as a cessation. So, what can we help the veteran community do to brace and prepare for that? How can they still meet their needs, those who need to smoke?
Well, first of all, most importantly, they can always talk to their providers at the hospital and ask for the patch or the entire program that the VA sponsors. But in the meantime, while you're waiting for that appointment, which hopefully is not too long, you can start by limiting yourself in the nicotine so that you can go and get to your appointments in time and be able to get out of there in a timely manner. So in order to do that, I recommend that you start doing a few habits, new habits to cleanse your body, to basically develop a good habit instead of the smoking so that you don't go through those withdrawals, and at the same time you're helping yourself. And some of those recommendations that I have, which I took from lifehack.com, actually .org, is commit to a 30-day cessation to stop smoking, if that's what you want to do, of course.
Martha, will this not also affect everybody that is in the hospital, though? I mean, this means that if you are staying at the hospital and you're a smoker after 1 October 2019, you can't even smoke if you're staying there.
That is correct. However, that was already kind of in place. If you are not, if you are in the hospital as an inpatient and you're not able to move ambulatory to get yourself outside or to a designated smoking area, then most of the time you can't smoke anyway.
I understand. Okay.
Yeah, so that's already kind of in place, and they help them with patches, nicotine patches and things like that to get them through those, few days, hopefully, that they're in the hospital. But as we know, we have millions of veterans that are at the hospital every day for short appointments. And so for those, I want to recommend that you deal with the nicotine patches, but at the same time, you could also start working on a new habit. Try to create something, maybe walk, get up and stretch every time you feel that need and you know that you want to go outside and smoke. You want to just remind yourself that this is good for you. Remind yourself the reason why you're not smoking right now so that you can last, those few hours that you absolutely must be without it. I also recommend that you buddy up with your spouse or your buddy if you go with somebody to the hospital so that you can strike a new conversation or, just switch it up a little when you're there and you're getting anxious about the fact that you haven't had the nicotine. And also make sure that you're taking care of yourself. And so the best way to stay hydrated, to start cleansing yourself, is by drinking water. The most simplest thing, right? So there's a study that I pulled up from the CDC, and basically it says that most Americans drink less than 12 ounces of water a day. Okay.
Why? You need 64.
Well, that's the recommendation, and that's kind of the old-fashioned recommendation, and it's not a bad goal. It's a good goal. If you can drink 64, 68 ounces of water I'm talking specifically just water, not soda, not beer, not coffee, not iced tea, not, whatever else. But actually now they're recommending much more than that. They're recommending 124 ounces a day for men and 92 ounces for women. And that's a lot of liquid.
Just pure water, right?
Just pure water,
And
yes.
the other things you mentioned, everything is interesting. Everything you just mentioned had obviously caffeine in it, which can dehydrate you, as well as
That's
sugar,
the
which
thing.
spike you.
That's the thing that while we enjoy our sugar, our coffee with sugar, our iced tea with sugar, all of those things, those chemicals, the sugar and the caffeine that you find in some of those drinks are also dehydrating you. So instead of that water that you just took, even if it was 12 ounces, right? You are not allowing the body to run like a well-oiled machine. And you want to give your body the maximum opportunity to be well, to heal itself. We all have so many things that we deal with, and water would be the first thing to go to so that you can start healing from within. And that will go along with this new smoking policy, no smoking policy for nationwide and all VAs. It's that if you do smoke, start by increasing your water intake because that's going to help you let the body heal itself and get to the next level. Whatever it is that you choose. If you choose to continue to smoke, then that's up to you. But you could have help. Don't forget to talk to your primary care provider. They will order you patches and you could use those while you're at the hospital. But in the meantime, you could be doing something really good for you, which not only will affect the non-smoking situation, but your whole health. So drink water, everybody. Drink up.
Okay, and for one last segment, we wanted to ask your opinion, as apparently this has been something that was been written in, and we've seen a lot from female veterans. So whenever we get something from female veterans, we of course prefer to get your opinion because I don't have one. Veterans and divorce. And not only are you a veteran, but you could speak on both, but what does it mean and what is the issue? I can point it out is when you get divorced, obviously, you have to reapply and get a new approval for the loan in order to transfer it from one veteran who qualified for a VA loan to the other veteran that didn't even bother to need to use their VA loan because the first veteran already bought it with a VA loan. And so that being said, what is, from your perspective, the biggest issue that is everybody's facing right now, as divorce is obviously something that is pretty common amongst veterans. And so dealing with it also comes with dealing with VA and loans and home loans.
Well, I can tell you that my understanding of the VA rules is that it's perfectly acceptable by the VA to allow a veteran, and you don't even have to be married, to take over a loan from someone else and then replace your VA certificate with, put yours, like the new person taking over, with the old one, the person moving out.
It is allowed as long as the person applying qualifies for the loan. That is correct. Go ahead.
Correct. The problem is that the banks have it rigged and they want you, the person taking over, so the spouse, and many times the male will use his certificate and buy that house. And now when the divorce occurs and you're splitting things, a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times, the woman veteran is going to remain in the home and she wants to use her VA certificate, right? Her benefit.
It makes sense. Most veterans are honorable and they would leave the home with the mother and the children, right? And what you're saying is these veterans who are amicably trying to get divorced, right? And would like to be able, now the man bought it for his family and now he's trying to leave it honorably with his wife. And what was the problem?
The problem is that the bank will not act to allow you to make this transfer until you are completely divorced. But here's the problem. In order to get divorced, you have to go in front of the judge, and the judge will stamp your piece of paper and basically grant you the divorce. And until you have that, you can't talk to the mortgage company. But when you're getting divorced, you're supposed to straighten out all of your finances prior to appearing in front of the judge. You
Right.
get
The
me?
mortgage company, just to clear it up, doesn't want to loan you the money while you're still married, correct?
Correct. What it amounts to is the mortgage company doesn't want to let neither one off the hook, because even though the certificate was only, say, one certificate was used, in this case, for an example, right, the mail, and what the mortgage company wants to make sure is they have you both, because as a spouse, in pretty much all the states, you're still liable. They can come after you for that mortgage, right? Even though,
I'm in a common property law state, so yes, they could come after either.
exactly. So they kind of hold you up, you know, they cause more undue stress onto these people who are going through a divorce, which is hard enough as it is. And, you know, divorce causes tremendous stress, financial, you know, physical, mental, you name it, because it's not just a financial transaction, as we know. It's sometimes, you know, it's complete lives that are being ruined, that are being, you know, changed in that direction. But the mortgage company is holding the cards. So a lot of female veterans end up having to leave those houses. That's their homes, but because they can take over.
Okay,
And
so if this is something that resonates to the audience, and you are a female veteran that has been through that and experienced that, and you're a male veteran who is also on the other side experiencing that because you can't wait to get out of that divorce, and you can't even give the house to your wife. You're like, you got to be kidding me! I can't even give her the house and get divorced. Okay, then we want to hear from you, and we will have a link or something below where you can reach out, and we want to hear from you because we are considering launching a program that would provide that offer for that lending for those in need, based on, of course, qualifying. So we will provide that in the bottom part here after the show airs. You guys will be able to find that, of course. Was there anything else, Martha, that you would like to share with our viewers on health and wellness this week?
this week, I want to make sure that everybody's getting ready for fall. I'm in the South, so we don't get a lot of cool weather. We wish we could, but we don't. But for our veterans who live out there, Alaska, the northern states, you guys, the winter's coming. Go get your coats before they go up in price. And that's all I have for today. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in.